Good morning, all, and welcome to our 30th event for the. So far, we have 29 events happened, and this is our 30th event. We are happy to have you all to this meetup. And today's we are going to have topics on how to become a marketing cloud and in Padda do it yourself future in Padda. So today's agenda is first we'll be having a welcome by Guru Anandan Sanmukham, and then followed by how to become a marketing cloud architect. Then we'll have a sponsor time where Cube 84 is going to present their company information as well as they are going to conduct a quiz. Okay, and followed by Pad Do It Yourself feature by LAMRN from Demand Blue.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's been a great pleasure welcoming you to the joint meeting organized by Salesforce Users Group, Salesforce Marketing Group Chennai, as well as the Nonprofit Cloud. So we have been trying to conduct like an offline event where we can meet and do socialize and then grow further as a community. But due to bad circumstances and the weather, and event is converted into an online event. So exciting speakers lined up today, and we have Kanan Narayan, who is like a technical architect from Infosys, who has like 25 years in industry and 7 years of association with Salesforce technology, and he has like 5 app exchange listings in the last 3 years from the ideation to delivery, and he's like 27 x Salesforce certifications to his credentials, and he will be taking us through the journey on how you can become a technical architect from like being a developer, and how you can charter your journey from being a developer to the CTA. And the next speaker is the Ilamaran Devadas. He's from Demand Blue, and he's a PAD certified developer, and he has worked for Fortune 500 companies in the North America's geo. And he will be taking us through the Paradox features and digital automation and the customer journeys and how we can participate and how we can improve our knowledge. So with that, I'll be happy to introduce our sponsor, the Cube 84, where they will be sponsoring our two quiz program hoodies, where they'll directly sponsor for the two of the quiz opportunities at the end of this particular event. Please be connected till the end of the event and sponsor in all the sessions and have a great time and a great learning. And we have like a plan for future offline events. Try to participate, bring in your friends, family who want to be part of the Salesforce, the Ohana, and how they can learn and grow. So thanks for the opportunity, and thanks for coming to this particular session. And I'm handing over to Kanan Narayan to take over to the digital marketing journey. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Anand. Thank you, Shanmugam. Let me try to share my screen. Warm welcome to all of you, and thanks to Salesforce User Group Chennai for having me in this today as a presenter, and also thanks to all of you participants, attendees, for spending your Saturday morning with us. So I'm going to spend next 25 to 30 minutes to give a glimpse of how to charter an architect journey within the digital marketing, right? And why it is important, right? And why it is even more significant than before, right? And some of the tenets and skills one may need to acquire along the way, right? Before I do that, again, as an extending to what Shanmugam said, I'm Kannan Narayanan, and here is my LinkedIn profile, and I'm about 25 plus 20. In fact, close to 30 years in the industry, with the 10 years in Salesforce, and I my primary role is to be part of every engagement within my organization as advisory solution architect, and That's one of the reasons why I even picked this topic, as Anand kind of approached me to kind of you know choose a topic around this marketing, which Elamaran is going to cover in the next one. We just wanted to pick a topic which kind of goes well with this. In my interaction with many of the customers, as well as the enterprise architects of the world, right, on the side, we always felt that you know marketing is always taken as a as a kind of a uh, you know side thought, right, or afterthought, right, or a application that is kind of sitting adjacent, not even featuring in your enterprise architectural landscape, right? um, but then um, that all has to change, and it is changing also. um, and as a result, we need we see from a skill set standpoint also, we see a lot of people who are good marketing developer, right, or maybe even administrator. They can navigate through the system, look around. But then where we see a shortage of skill as well as knowledge is when you have to kind of take few steps back, right, or many steps back, and then uh, give an enterprise view of how a marketing suite of products should fit in, right? Uh, and that's one of the reasons why we thought that this topic could be a right fit for you know for us in this conversation. Okay. So with that, I would it's a high level agenda. So I will again further jump into how digital marketing is kind of you know the landscape is changing. But before that, I will kind of also touch upon who this session is for, right? And what are all some of the extrinsic external motivation for somebody to pursue an architect career within digital marketing space. And having decided that, what is the path to become a digital marketing architect, right? It has to be combined with the credibility, as well as capability, right? So credibility is more of an acquiring some skills, credentials, formal credentials, versus uh, you know your capability is more coming out of experience and practice, right? So I'll touch about those, and some of the even more than ever in this area, soft skill is very important. So I will touch upon all those, and then we will kind of leave it we'll leave a few minutes for Q&A. Okay. Okay. So who this session is intended for, right? Any Salesforce practitioners, or when I say Salesforce practitioner, I'm looking at it in a broader ecosystem, which marketing or a commerce or any of those clouds kind of fit in here, right? So any of the Salesforce existing practitioners who are primarily focusing on having that consultative mindset, uh, you know moving up in the ladder of the consulting journey, as well as the folks who are very hands-on, but then more, I mean, they feel that they are very good in configuring the systems, and then kind of administering the system, right? Because we always see that is a major part of the the audience, right? The skill set, right? We always have one set of folks who are very good in in Apex coding or AMP script or any development activity, right? And they may feel like they are more, I mean, attuned to kind of charter their path to become an architect. That may or may not be true when it comes to a digital marketing space, right? For a digital marketing space, one need not be so hands-on, so technical, so development mindset oriented, right? You don't need to, right? That's one of the reasons why this is something even more important for practicing marketing developers or admins to kind of pursue this, or at least look at this career path. Next one is architect from other platforms, right? Who wants to fuel their careers, right? You may be from any other legacy CRM product suite, involved in that, and then be playing an architect role. But you come with that architectural mindset, right? That is definitely, and then you are really looking to jump into the newer, latest and greatest um, CRM suite, and then you are looking at Salesforce, right? So looking at quite a lot of a bigger chunk of Salesforce platform, it could be a Herculean task, whereas digital marketing could be the place where you could immediately jump in and then hone your architectural skill. Last but not the least, anyone who is looking to invest in your career, who have that right aptitude. You may not be even familiar with Salesforce, but you have the right aptitude, and then you want to really try getting into this platform. And of course, you will have a path to follow. Not day one, you're not going to become an architect, but you have a path to follow. And that's what we intend to kind of show here also. So you are also, if you are here, if you are one of those people, you are in the right place. Okay. Before I even touch upon what is digital marketing, right? Kind of some few definitions that some of the organizations and even general available material kind of on the internet that provide. I just want to take a moment to kind of say why how that entire digital marketing space is kind of evolving, right? If you have looked at it even five years, right, or half a dozen years back, right, typically marketing, right, when it comes to digital marketing, and I will come to the definition of digital marketing in a few minutes. It has been kind of considered as simply configuration driven, right? You just simply go to whichever product you use, doesn't matter. You simply go and set that templates, email templates, or identify your audience, and set it and forget it, and then hand it over to a true marketeer, right? A person from marketing team, who may not have any familiarity with the entire big picture of that product, right? But then you hand it over to them, and then as and when they need your help, when IT's help, we kind of come and interject and then provide fine tune it, right? That's how typically the digital marketing or the marketing world had been, right? When you are implementing something on the digital marketing space, but that is definitely changing, and the role of IT, in this entire digital marketing execution is extending, expanding. Why? Think about this, right? So primarily because of consumers expectation, so more so that we are, even this very meetup itself, we are having it online, digital media, right? Using digital media, digital space, and some of the macro events that happened in the last few years that made us, all of us, to kind of quickly, hurriedly adapt digital transformation, right? With that, more and more consumers are embracing digital way of interacting with the brand, right? So with that, the consumers digital needs, right, are experience needs, right? It's and wants and needs are really expanding. That is leading to advent of more complex product suite, right? um, that's primary factor in my opinion. Second is the because you can reach out to anybody, any simply, like you go to a store, they innocently they ask your phone number, right, your contact email address, or the last week I was searching for some product. Okay, I mean, I was thinking about uh, uh, um, you know okay, I'll take this example, that a couple of incidents that happened. One incident where I was kind of simply looking for going to the Google map and then checking direction, right? And that was not the local direction. I was just checking right from my city where I live, Chennai, to far apart, right, elsewhere. Then afterwards, I went to some other site a day or so later. I was immediately, I was bombarded with a lot of ads, right? Something about the hotels in that area, establishments in that area, even some of the travel options that were available. It was kind of very simply, in an integrated manner, I was being thrown at a lot of some information, right? So because this is happening, even every country, every region is also putting tighter controls, right, to safeguard consumers as, right, on the online, right, world, to with a lot of legal needs, right? So compliance and legal requirements, right? So because of this, a digital marketing suite of products are really finding a seat or a place in the entire enterprise architectural suite, because You need to be compliant. If you are an organization, you are having an IT, you are doing any business, and then you have IT to back it up. Your IT systems needs to be compliant, right? If it needs to be compliant legally and technically and everything, right? You again need to have a sound enterprise architectural management, right? So those digital product suite are finding its way into those enterprise architectural landscape, right? um, Next one is like, again, a lot of multi-channel needs, cross-channel needs that are come into place, right? You can do a business through, as an example, WhatsApp, right, or mobile, SMS, email. And then the beauty of it is your conversation that happen in one channel needs to be correlated to another channel, and then should be seamless, right? It is not that you're starting all over the place, right? So those multi-channel, cross-channel needs are also making this digital marketing a bit more complex, right? And last but not the least, as I taking extending to the point I said, it should be a connected experience, right? If a IT brand, I mean, if a brand or IT systems, right, needs to provide that connected experience, then you need to have more of behind the scene, a data lake, customer data platform, 360, whatever you want to call, right? All those things needs to happen. And digital marketing and any outcome of that digital marketing would be playing a crucial role. So hence a role of digital marketing IT personnel, right, becomes very, very important. And as a result, companies are kind of expanding the role of IT digital marketing personnel from just a simple admin or a architect, excuse me, I mean admin, to a developer, to a consultant, to even a digital marketing architect as a role, right? Who may be in some smaller organization, maybe directly reporting to CTO also, right? Chief Technology Officer. So hence this role is becoming more prominent. Okay, now what is digital marketing? I think I already gave some cues, right? The American Marketing Association kind of talks about that. They kept it very simple. They said any marketing methodology that you kind of use using a through electronic devices is, in a way, they call it as a digital marketing. But if you go to Wikipedia, and then that kind of expands it further. It's basically says that digital marketing, I'm just going to read it here from the screen. It's about the component of marketing, right? Subset of the marketing that uses, number one, internet and online based digital technologies such as your desktop or a computer, smart devices, and other digital media and platforms to promote your products and services. So that's what digital marketing is all about. So net, it's all about taking your digital marketing methodology to electronic way of communication and engagement more so. Okay, and how is this market, right? Overall, if you look at it, the digital market size, as of 2022, right, it is 65 billion globally, right? US dollars, right? With a revenue forecast of CAGR of 19% year over year, right? So in next 8 years, right, it is going to reach, more than three times, right? It's going to reach 264 billion US dollars. That's the projected, right? As per the, the source given here. And then if you look at it here from a pie chart, right, it's not isolated to one industry, right? It's almost becoming like a industry agnostic in a way, so that every industry has a need to do to reach out or to make their promote their brands and their services, products and services, right, out to the world, right, and reflect it in a very positive way, so that they can make use of take advantage of all those methodologies to increase their stakeholders value, right? And in the 65 billion as of now, right, if you really look at it from Salesforce marketing, the entire digital marketing suite, their revenue as of last year, it was somewhere around 4 billion, right? So that is almost like as close to 20%, right? Somewhere around 18 to 20% of their total revenue, right? So that's a significant number, right? Now, Next thing, okay, now we have talked about digital marketing. What is that, and the market size, right? The entire available market, and how much of that, Salesforce digital marketing revenue is, right? Which I said about 4 billion, which is about 16%, 16 to 18% of their revenue. And considering they had about 24, 23 billion revenue last year, right? But then this 4 billion is out of that 65 billion, right? The available market, right? So which, if you look at it, it is what, 116, right? 6-7% of what they have penetrated. Okay? Not that they are going to penetrate 100%. There are a lot of dominant market players, and not every digital marketing would necessarily need to happen with CRM alignment, right? So your addressable market for Salesforce may not be 64 billion, but it would be at least somewhere in the north of 30-40 billion is my guess, right? So there is more there, more to grow, right? Now, coming to the next step of the marketing segments we are talking about. See, the digital marketing segments, if you go and even do a research, academic research, everybody has a different way of segmenting them, categorizing them, right? So I'm just taking, just for this conversation, for this purpose, I'm just taking it a category by consumer type, right? The end consumer you are trying to address, right? And I'm keeping it simple, right? uh, you know so the very first one, dominant marketing segment, digital marketing segment, is B2B, right? B2B marketing. Again, what is B2B? Your B2B stands for business to business, right? um, you organization as a business, that's on the left side, and to right hand side, who are your audience, ultimate audience you are targeting, that is also a business. So it's a business to business. So two organizations trying to interact, engage in a commercial activities, and any activities or any effort that leads to that is what that marketing effort, right, is all about. So again, taking the cue from AMA, American Marketing Association, they define B2B as any advertising in an area of products, services, resources, materials, to be used, purchased and used by businesses. They are your immediate consumer. Whereas B2C, it's again that is where we have seen quite a lot of transformation in the last decade, right? um, so that is basically, consumer is your end customer, right? So business to consumer are also loosely said as a business to customer, right? But it is more like a B2C is a business to consumer. It is your like you and me, right? And end user, as a person who is directly targeted, right? In your marketing efforts. So that is a B2C. But when you look at it, B2C market is still a long way to grow, or more space to grow, because again, I mean, it's a little bit outdated information. Back in 2019, as of 2019, the global B2B e-commerce sales was about close to 22 trillion, not billion, trillion US dollars, right? But out of that, 82%, right, very large amount, large share of pie, was from B2B segment, right? But the remaining 20%, right, 18-20%, I'm sure in the last few years, it would have definitely grown. I would not have been surprised if it is somewhere around 70-30 or 65-35. But that is the that comes from the consumer side of it. So from this discussion perspective, I'm keeping it as two segments. I'm not going to other extended ones like a B2B to C, B2B to the extra third layer. I'm not even going to it. I'm just going to, or second layer, I'm not going to it. I'm only keeping it as a two players and first layer. Okay, now let's just jump into the CRM space and Salesforce being there. Why you should pursue, number one, architectural journey. I just talked about it, but now how or why you should even pursue the marketing architect journey within Salesforce, right? So here you are. I don't know if you are able to read my screen well, but I have placed two pictures from Gartner as a magic quadrant. Yeah. So Gartner is one of the research organization, right? They kind of come up with a lot of industry services. They provide services. One of them is providing this very famous one is the having this magic quadrant where they place various services or organizations or whatnot into one of the four quadrants. But here there are two views. One is the magic quadrant for multi-channel marketing hubs, right? Where Adobe and Salesforce, right? They are really in the leaders quadrant. So this space. So every organization wants to kind of move from here to here. Okay, they start somewhere here and then they move here, right? That means their ultimate supremacy here, right? So Salesforce is there, right there, right, with close competition with Adobe, right, on the multi-channel marketing hub. But when it comes to digital experience platform, right, Adobe is still miles ahead, but Salesforce is kind of in the challenger category. So they are not in the leader category, right? As per again Gartner's magic quadrants, placement, and as per Gartner, right? So so Salesforce has still way to grow on that, providing that integrated digital experience. So one reason could be, I could guess, and also what it has been outlined in that document, the rationale is many of the Salesforce digital marketing products are all kind of primarily, majority of them are kind of acquired, right, in the many of in the last few years. And I mean, one gets a feeling that they are all isolated, right? They have each product, right? If you look at it, earlier we had something like a social studio, Datorama, interaction studio, any of these products you take it, right? Or even as a matter of fact, the high level Perdart, right, which is like B2B marketing intelligence, marketing automation tool. Each one of it, you get a sense that they are all living in isolation, right? They are not really well connected, right? That could be one of the reasons, and that was one of the reasons why Gartner kind of placed Salesforce in the challenger category, not in the leader category. But then Salesforce is making a lot of headwinds here and improvements to kind of move it, address that aspect of it. Okay, now so if one wants to charter the career on the Salesforce digital marketing space, what are all the credential path? Remember I talked about two key skill set or a capability that are quality attributes that needs to be acquired for somebody to become an architect. One is the credibility that comes with the credentials, formal credential like a certification or accreditation. Other one is the capability. We'll touch upon the capability later, but this is about the credibility aspect. So primarily, Salesforce B2B marketing is covered by the Perdot. Now again, it's called as a B2B marketing automation, and then B2C is primarily covered by Salesforce SFMC or Salesforce Marketing Cloud, right? If you look at it collectively, there are about 10 different credentials that are out there. The left side, what you see, these are all certifications. Right side, you see, these are all accreditations. I hope you are familiar with the accreditation. Accreditation is primarily for partner ecosystem that Salesforce came out, released it sometime around July last year, right? But certification has been there all along for more than 10 years. But then in the last few years, Salesforce introduced more certifications within the the marketing side of it. So one may start with being an administrator, like a marketing cloud administrator, and then if you are pursuing it in the B2B side, you may try to be a Perdot specialist. Then you move up to Perdot consultant. Whereas on the B2C side, you may be a administrator or a email specialist is the most sought after, easy one, low hanging fruit many used to try, right? We also had a social specialist, but that certification has been retired, right? It been included into other ones. But so email specialist, or you kind of move on to developer, and then you move on to consultant, right? So from a certification path, then the accreditation path that came is just to bridge the gap that you need to have specialization in products, sub products, whether it is a Datorama, I talked about it, or interaction studio, or you want cross channel capability, or CDP, right, customer data platform. There are all accreditation that are out there. So I'm not advocating that everybody should get all these 10 credentials to become an architect, but this enables you, right, make you aware of various capabilities that are there in Salesforce marketing cloud space, right? And one good thing is Unlike Salesforce side, if you've gone and looked at certifications and everything, right, there are 30 plus certifications, and right, and then almost accreditation also, if you look at it, there are 30, 35 accreditation, right? And then it if you want to become an architect, and then you have looked at the architect pyramid itself, it kind of it requires an elevation on your understanding and tenure, right? The length of experience you need to have in the Salesforce ecosystem, it's quite high. Compared to that, on the digital marketing space, it is relatively less, I would say. Typically a person who is starting today, into to digital marketing space, if full-time activity, if you can become at least a decent architect, entry-level architect, in a matter about 5 to 6 years, right? Provided that you put rights, focus. Compared to Salesforce side, it could be in anywhere from 8 to 10 years. Okay. Let me quickly check how much time I have got. Okay. Can I take another 10 minutes, Anand, if that's all right?
Yeah, sure, you can take it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now, uh, so we talked about the credential aspect, right? Capability, the capability, the soft skill, and all. I will touch upon it, later. But then before I do that, um, again, you need to be aware of some of the key developments that's happening around Salesforce digital marketing space, right? uh, that awareness would help you, put your focus in the right spots, and practice and experience these skills, right? Number one, right? Gone are the days, like I said, initially I told, right? Marketing activities not kind of should be looked at in isolation. In the same vein, even within Salesforce ecosystem, gone are the days somebody will go and just implement only marketing cloud and then go away, or a sales cloud and go away, right? Or a service cloud go away, right? Multi-cloud implementation has become, um, a real established trend, right? Most of the customers, or most of the engagements, at least the mid-size, and definitely in the large segment, they have multiple cloud capabilities that they have implemented it together. They may start with one, right? Maybe a sales cloud as a starting, right? And then they kind of expand to cover the marketing side also, or service, etc., right? But the multi-cloud implementation is definitely the norm, right? And um, many of the, especially in the B2B segment, and it is also true with B2C, that many of these conglomerates and organizations, firms, right, they have presence in multiple regions, multiple countries. But then they want to promote that global brand concept with local marketing presence, right? There is also a concept of distributed marketing that is on the rise, right? Cross channel marketing strategy, I just already touched about it. You really cannot think that marketing is not all about email as a channel, right? It is much more than email. Email is just even though it is more popular one, but it's much more than the email, right? So because of it, you need to have a strategy to unify all your channel activities, right? It's very similar to on service cloud, you have omni channel, right? Same thing here. And I again touched about this compliance to each country's legal requirements, whether it is can spam, primarily came from US, right? Uh, CASL, which is a Canadian, originated law from around marketing. GDPR, of course, most of you would know from Europe side, and there are quite a lot. I mean, few more, right? Every the Asia Pacific side also there are some. Even India has its own version of can spam / GDPR, right? So on and so forth. And last but not the least, real-time intelligence, right? That is leading to high level of personalization, right? I mean, in fact, if you have followed this Dreamforce recently, right, with customer, Salesforce Genie, right? One of the use cases they even talked about it is, okay, you lost your credit card, right? You make a call to service, I mean, using your service cloud channel, letting the agent or service agent representative to know that, hey, I lost my credit card, right? uh, Earlier that information used to percolate to your point of sales or a commerce cloud, right? Maybe 12 hours or 10 hours later, by the time most of the identity theft has been already happened, right? So whereas now what is needed, even more it has been needed, is The moment you kind of report that the credit card has been stolen, that information is percolated to all the channels, all the systems, right? So that few minutes later, if somebody is trying to swipe your card, that card is already been deactivated, right? So point of sales in Commerce Cloud, right? So that level of connected systems as well as the intelligence, right? Trying to understand your motive, so that next time when you make a place a call, right? Your service agents know all about any interaction that has happened, whether it is a marketing channel, through marketing channel, sales channel, or even prior service channel, right? So that again is leading to that multi-channel collaboration. So because of all this, is the emergence of this new role, Salesforce Marketing Cloud Architect, right, or a digital marketing architect, right? Here is one of the job profile. I mean, you can also go and look at it afterwards, on the internet. Look for job profile like a digital marketing specialist or a Salesforce Marketing Cloud architect, excuse me, and then look at the job profile, right? And then see what are all the key asks that is being asked, right? And I'm sure that you would find a lot of correlation with what I'm saying. Okay, now moving on to the some of the soft skills and the capability standpoint, right? Who is a Salesforce architect in general, right? In general, right? Salesforce even kind of says that a person needs to have a deep understanding on Salesforce features, ability to manage and do governance activity. More importantly, you have to have possess a broad knowledge across platforms, right? And you should be able to deliver a secure, high performance solution, technical solutions, and soft skill, right? Interact with the clients and product managers, so on and so forth, right? And in general, familiar with software engineering techniques, standard tools, process, and people, right? So that soft skill is very, very important to be an architect, right? Whether it is a core Salesforce architect or a digital marketing architect, right? Very important. So now, um, lastly, right? So after hearing all these things, if I'm able to convince you, or if you are already interested to kind of look at potential career on the digital marketing architect, digital marketing space as an architect, so here is one prescribed level of how one can make the journey, right from a beginner to all the way to advanced, right? As a beginner, you have at least a familiarity with at least one customer type, right? Whether it is B2B automation or a B2C side of it. And then you have some fluency on few channels, right? You are very good with email based communication, marketing medium, you can handle it. Or you can also build interaction templates, email templates, and so on and so forth, and effectively manage it, and articulate that, or understand the out of box capabilities, right? We are not here to kind of extend the platform through customization. Understand the platform capability, that is the beginner level, right? But if you want to graduate to the intermediate, you need to have a sound administrative or a secure capabilities, and then secure the system. Whatever that you are building, you need to secure it well, single sign on, through data security, so on and so forth, right? User security and everything, right? And you need to be aware of multi-channel. We already talked about it. And capability of a platform, right? If we are talking about B2C marketing cloud, various capability that is available, right? Contact builder, journey builder, and various engagement techniques in the B2B side, etc. You need to be aware of it. Last but not the least, you should be able to manage your audience, right? The entire audience management techniques you should be familiar with. Moving on to advanced side, you are jumping into being a multi-cloud aware, that you are not looking only about digital marketing cloud alone. You understand whatever actions you are taking, how is it going to impact, or how it's going to interact with, let's say, commerce cloud, or what happens in commerce cloud, how it will impact you, right? That multi-cloud aware, we need to be aware. You need to possess. Then multi-product aware, that is a really an extended level, right? See, often as architects, we try to force fit our business requirements into the tool that we have. And it also is equally important to tell that, yeah, what, Salesforce is not the right tool for you, right? Especially in the marketing cloud, it's very important, because like I showed you in that Gartner quadrant, they are still in challenger in the digital experience platform. So certain things is not right fit for to be implemented in Salesforce marketing cloud, right? But you need to have that understanding. How you will gain it is having that broader awareness of available products, right? and then you need to have that mindset of transforming all that, thinking about, okay, I'm going to do data manipulation, everything, to intelligence management or intelligence awareness, right? Have that big picture mindset, right? And so that those are all the things that will take you to advanced level, and thus you will make you kind of an amazing architect, right? But remember, in doing all these things, there is very less a need for somebody to be, be a developer or a very hands-on, right? So that's one of the advantage. In case you come with the background of, I am a consultant, I've been far away from doing hands-on coding, etc. But I have that mindset, I have that soft skill, I have a good communication skill, so on and so forth. Then this is a path that you could perhaps look at it. So with that, I am, yeah, I'm good at the time also. I'm done, and I'm open. I will open the floor for any question and answer. If there's no question, I would like to. I think we are a dot on time. So, in fact, we have a few minutes that I can give it back to you, Anand, to the next presenter. So, thank you so much for again, once again, spending your time with us this morning, and wishing you all the best in your architect journey. Thank you. Over to you, Anand.
Okay, thank you.